just been investigated for using a foreign power to meddle in a presidential election. And it's happening all over again.
That call was perfect. It couldn't have been nicer.
Even if you don't believe the whole Russia, that Trump colluded with the Russians, I want to make it very clear that he colluded with the Ukrainians to meddle in the 2020 election. And I know it because I was there.
That's really where things started to accelerate downward quickly.
Mr. Trump did order a hold on military aid to Ukraine.
President Trump ordered his acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, to delay that military aid to Ukraine just days before a call with the Ukrainian president.
We found out that Trump actually withheld military aid. That was a very, very serious moment in my life. The message I gave them, Trump actually acted on it. I was horrified.
It was like, holy cow. Now we're in it. We're talking about not releasing aid to Ukraine.
Officials at the Office of Management and Budget relayed Mr. Trump's order to withhold hundreds of millions of dollars in military aid.
One career diplomat sounding the alarm very directly by noting in writing in this text, I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign.
Never in a million years I think we would get to that point. I never thought that we would not get a meeting with Zelensky.
Zelensky really stood up to Lev and to Rudy and to Trump, and he just wouldn't budge.
Ukrainians weren't as corrupt as he thought they were. They weren't as corrupt as him or Rudy.
I really hope that you and President Putin get together and can solve your problem. That would be a tremendous achievement.
I thought Trump's a hero, saving our democracy, and Zelensky is a corrupt leader. And it was all the opposite. At the end of the day, it turned out that Trump was the actual criminal and Zelensky was a stand-up guy.
We were all waiting for Trump to get presidential, and instead, he just became a monster. He's a bully, and he really needs to focus on himself. Like, please stop focusing on the United States. Go sit down. It's time.
The serial entrepreneur type judgment.
I worked in the Trump administration.
Never in a million years did I ever think that I'd be working in the White House with a president that didn't care about the American people.
He would suggest not giving disaster relief to states that hadn't voted for him.
I remember one time after a wildfire in California, he wouldn't send relief because it was a Democratic state. So we went as far as looking up how many votes he got in those impacted areas to show him these are people who voted for you. This isn't normal. The job of the president is to protect Americans, regardless of politics.
If Trump's elected again, there'll be no one to stop his worst instincts. You'll have yes men help him implement Project 2025's agenda. Unchecked power, no guardrails.
They will be serving one man. I am voting for Kamala Harris because she will put the safety and security of every American first, whether they voted for her or not.
Two undercover reporters posing as donors are about to meet one of the key architects of Project 2025, the radical plan for Trump's second term, in a hotel suite rigged with hidden cameras.
Nice to meet you. Would you like coffee or something? I'd love coffee, yeah. Great.
Meet Russ Vought.
Russell Vought, the former director of the Office of Management and Budget.
He's been called the most dangerous MAGA diehard you've never heard of.
I am opposed to the Department of Education because I think it's the Department of Critical Race Theory.
The Russ Vought were comrades in arms.
Formerly a cabinet member and chief lieutenant in the first Trump admin,
I want to thank Russ for doing an incredible job.
He now runs a group called Center for Renewing America,
an organization that I helped turn into the Death Star that is accomplishing all the debates that you are reading about. I think you have to rehabilitate Christian nationalism. You have the largest deportation in history, block funding for Planned Parenthood. I want to be the person that crushes the deep state.
Vought is one of the key authors of the blueprint for a second Trump administration.
Project 2025.
It's an ambitious 920-page blueprint.
Like eliminating the Department of Education.
The mass firings of civil servants.
Banning access to the abortion pill and further restricting abortion rights.
In recent weeks, the plans have become so controversial that Trump has been forced to distance himself.
They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right. and they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is, it's Project 25.
Are you ready? I know nothing about Project 25. I haven't seen the document. I don't intend to really see the document.
But behind closed doors, Vogt tells us not to take Trump's disavowal seriously.
I expect you to hear 10 more times from the rally, the president, distancing himself from the left's boogeyman of Project 2025.
Yeah. And you're not worried about that?
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
He's running against a brand. He is not running against any people.
Okay.
He is not running against any institutions. It's interesting, he's in fact not even opposing himself to a particular policy. Yeah. He's been at our organization, he's raised money for our organization, he's blessed it from the, I remember walking into our last day in office and told him what I was going to do. So he's very